Hello all, welcome back to ICS Academy. My name is Rajshekhar. Dear friends, in this session I shall be taking up the first and foremost most important chapter of the Indian Constitution, which is about part 1 of the Indian Constitution. See, in the entire subject, this forms the basis of our entire constitution as well as the nation itself. Why? In a while I'll tell you. But what does it talk about? See, when the Indian Constitution or Constitution of India was incorporated or adopted, we had 22 parts in total. Right? This is just for your reference. On 26th of November 1949, when the Indian Constitution was adopted and when it came into force on 26th Jan of 1950, we had 22 parts in total. Today, after so many years, it has evolved into 25 parts. And of these parts, part 1 forms a significant fundamental in the entire constitution itself. Why? I'll tell you. See, basically, it talks about the union and its territory. I said significant because of this thing. It is this part that defines and gives the authority to the Parliament of India as well as the central government to rule over the states as well as other territories. So what is the difference? I'll tell you. But before that, please note there are 4 articles in part 1 of the Indian Constitution, that is article 1, 2, 3 and 4. All we had was 22 parts in the initial years. Today we have got 25 parts, and of these part 1 is of utmost importance. It talks about the Union of India as well as the territory of India. So what is the difference between the Union and territory? The Constitution itself, part 1 itself says that the Union and its territory. In fact, Article 1 of the Indian Constitution says India, that is Bharat, shall be a union of states as well as the territory of India. The territory of India shall include states, union territories and those regions acquired or incorporated by India from the foreign countries. So here in Article 1 itself, you get a clear differentiation between territory and the union. So like I said, there are 4 articles, Article 1, Article 2, Article 3 and Article 4. These 4 articles together constitute part 1 of the Indian Constitution, which talks about the union and its territory. So Article 1 says that India, that is Bharat. Please note here, because in recent times there is an ongoing controversy surrounding the usage of Bharat. Because in the recently concluded G20 summit, the Indian government explicitly used Bharat in place of India. That too, when the President of India was invited as one of the dignitaries, instead of addressing him as the President of India, the central government addressed her as the President of Bharat. It ignited all new controversy, but that is a separate thing. Here, what we need to understand is that the Constitution itself provides for both of these names, because this was one of the controversies way back in 1946 and 1947 too. While framing the Constitution, our Constitution makers, they went on debating in between regarding the usage of these 2 words. Some said Bharat, which is a Hindi originated word, should be used in place of India, while others who were in support of using English as a language, they were in support of using India as the name of the country. Somehow there was no consensus. So finally what Dr. B.R. Ambedkar did, he said, let us go with both of these names. We shall keep India as well as Bharat. Those who are in support of using India as the country's name, we shall support them too, and those who want Bharat to be used in place of India, we shall agree by your words too. So we shall keep both of these words. So Article 1 says India, that is Bharat, shall be a union of states, and the article is not complete. It goes on further to say that the territory of India includes the states, the union territories, and or as well as the territories incorporated by India from the foreign countries. So, dear friends, this was a question in the year 2013 in UPSC Civil Services Preliminary Examination. The question asked straight away the difference between the Union of India and the Territory of India. By now, you might have definitely understood the difference between these two terms. I time and again kept on repeating the differences. So, the Union of India consists of only states. The Union of India consists of only states. Remember, it consists of only states. Right now, how many states have you got? We have got 28 states. So, I repeat, the union, when you look at the term union, please remember, please focus, it consists of only states. No union territory is included under the definition of union. Whereas, when I say territory of India, it includes states. In addition to states, it also includes the union territories. Right now, in addition to 28 states, India has got 8 union territories. So, which is a broader term, territory or union? Obviously territory, because it includes union territories as well. But this is not the end. The constitution went on to say that the territory of India shall include states, union territories, as well as territories incorporated into India from foreign states or foreign countries. Getting this point? So, this is the main difference between the union and the territory of India. If you remember, at the beginning of the class I said that part 1 of the Indian Constitution forms a significant fundamental or a significant cornerstone in the entire Constitution of India. Why did I say like that? It is because the states are guaranteed their territorial extent based on Article 1 of the Indian Constitution, which means in simple terms, let's say I am from Karnataka. If suppose someone from Telangana comes up to me tomorrow and says, how can you say that Karnataka has a great extent of, from Bidar to Chamarajanagar? What proof have you got? In that case, my friend, I can catch hold of him and show him Article 1 of the Indian Constitution, where the territorial extent of each and every state has been clearly defined and mentioned. So, this is about Article 1 of the Indian Constitution. So, right now, according to Article 1 of the Indian Constitution, how many states and union territories has India got? We have got 28 states and union territories. Before going to Article 2 of the Indian Constitution, I just want you to have a brief look at the situation or the geographical distribution of India and Indian states in the year 1947. So, at the time of independence, that is in 1947, the picture was completely different, because when Britishers left India on 15th of August 1947, but before that, as per the 3rd June plan or Mountbatten plan, which is famously called after Lord Mountbatten, India had more than 552 regions, and these regions were free to choose between India, Pakistan, or they had the other option too, third option, which is they can remain independent for lifetime. Right? Today, as of 2023, we have got 28 states plus 8 union territories, right? But back then I am saying there were 552 independent regions or 552 small states and some big states too. How were these classified? See, Britishers definitely went for divide and rule policy. They knew that from here on they are not going to get anything or even a single penny from the Indian mainland. So what they did before going, let us destroy India completely. Already they had divided India into India and Pakistan, that too West Pakistan and East Pakistan. Before 1947, it was entire India. We say Akhanda Bharat. The present Bangladesh, which was back then called as East Pakistan, was also a part of India, and Pakistan, which was back then called as West Pakistan, was also a part of India. So through their divide and policy nature, Britishers had already divided India into 3 parts, right? So now, with the help of this plan further, what they did was they further divided, tried to divide India into multiple parts. I said there were 552 regions. How were these regions divided? There were 4 categories. When India got its independence in 1947, the regions in India were divided into 4 categories. Category A included British territories or British India, like Bengal, Bihar and Orissa. There were 9 such states which were directly under the control of Britishers. I repeat, when India gained its independence, there were 552 regions, and these regions were divided into 4 categories. Category A included 9 regions like Bengal, Bihar and Orissa, which were directly under the control of or administration of British, which was ruled by Viceroy of India on behalf of British Crown. Then category B included something called as princely states. It looks like a part of history. Yes, it is of course a part of history, but we are looking at this history from the polity context or Indian constitution context. Stay with me. So in category B we had princely states. What were these states and why they were special? See, if you can remember, after the revolt of 1857, the Act of 1858 came into force. Accordingly, Queen Victoria announced that henceforth we shall not be annexing any more territories in India, which means as of 1857, how many territories or as many territories as acquired by the Britishers or the Crown would stop then and there. So they had no intention to further expand the territory of themselves in the Indian mainland. So they said after 1857 we shall stop annexation. But somehow they were playing game, because what they did after 1858 was something different. It was indeed a criminal activity. So they started choosing some princes who would act as puppets in the hands of Britishers, who for namesake would be princes and for namesake would be independent stateholders, or their states would be administered by them, but in reality they were puppets in the hands of Britishers, which means they were weak, they were not independent, or they lacked the confidence and resources to sustain themselves. So all they did was they became protectorate states in the hands of British, but somehow they were called as princely states. So 9 such princely states existed as of 1947. So category A consisted of how many states? 9 British Indian states, and category B consisted of 9 princely states. Right. Then category C consisted of 10 commissionerates. So these princes were just like puppets in the hands of Britishers. An entire state would be ruled by princes, at least for namesake, with the indirect holding of Britishers. But within the states of these princely states, there existed some prosperous regions or cities, where within the princely states, I repeat, there existed some prosperous cities or towns. Like if you consider the entire state of Karnataka, very few cities are very developed or prosperous. For example, Bangalore, Hubli, Dharwad, Mangalore. So Britishers, their main aim was to extract as much as resources possible from India. So these Britishers, what they did, they said, see princes, we have a very cordial relation and good relation, so we'll do one thing, we'll maintain the status quo, but what we'll do, within your regions, there are some cities which need special protection from our side. So for that reason, what we'll do, will not directly handle those cities, but instead will appoint commissioners. Once again they said, we are not acquiring as per the 1858 Act of British India. As per the 1858 Act, we are not annexing any more territories, but we are appointing commissioners who will just look after the welfare of the people and help administer such prosperous cities. Right? So such category or third category consisted of such 10 cities or commissionerates. For example, Satara, Jaipur, Indore, Nagpur, etc. Then category D consisted of all other regions excluding category A, B, C, and these were called as union territories. So when Britishers left India, India was divided into category A, category B, category C and category D. This was the categorization until the year 1953. Until 1953. When Potti Sriramulu, activist who was demanding a separate state on the basis of language, died during his fast unto death. A separate state known as Andhra Pradesh was created and the demand was followed by Gujarat and so many other states. So then the government of India had to appoint a commission under the chairmanship of Supreme Court Judge Fazal Ali, which is called as Fazal Ali Commission, and it recommended division of the entire India on the basis of language. So the recommendations of Fazal Ali Commission was accepted in 1956 and hence came the States Reorganization Act. So what is the basis for States Reorganization Act? It is the recommendations made by Fazal Ali Commission. Who was Fazal Ali? He was the judge of Supreme Court of India. The committee was appointed by Jawaharlal Nehru. So the states or regions which numbered to 552 in 1947, today they are clubbed into 28 states and 8 union territories. Getting this point? After 1956 States Reorganization Act, India had around 14 states and 6 union territories. So in 1947, India had 14 states, 6 union territories. This was on the basis of recommendations of Fazal Ali Commission and States Reorganization Act of 1956. So from there, that is from here, that is 552 regions, then from here to 14 and 6 in the year 1956. Today we have evolved into 28 states and 8 union territories. So the regional extent or the territory of these states as well as union territories has been mentioned where in the part 1 and under article 1 of the Indian Constitution. I hope it's clear. See, polity is a very simple subject. It's like a low hanging fruit. Compared to other subjects, if you're thorough with Indian polity, easily you can get all the questions right. Be it any exam starting from SSC, banking or even KPSC or UPSC. You can expect a good number of questions from polity, that is Indian polity or Indian Constitution. Every year on an average there are at least 10 to 12 Indian polity questions. On a very good year you would be getting around 15 to 18 questions too. So if you are thorough with basics, if you are thorough with polity current affairs, you can get all the questions right. So this is the beauty of polity. You study it once and you gain mastery over it. Fine. So this is about Article 1. We understood Part 1, which talks about the Union and its territories, and under Part 1, Article 1 says India, that is Bharat, shall be a union of states, and the territory of India would consist of states, union territories, as well as foreign states or foreign regions incorporated by India. Right? So I hope Article 1 is clear. Next, what about Article 2? Article 2 of the Indian Constitution. It says India can incorporate foreign territories into it or into the geography of India. See, I'll explain. So whenever you're trying to understand the polity, what you should do? You should basically make it application oriented. How I'll tell you. So Article 1 you got to know the difference between India, Bharat and Union of India and territory. Now in Article 2 I am saying incorporation of foreign territories. Has it ever been used? Look at the thinking of our constitution makers. Back then in the year 1947 itself, they thought that in future a situation would arise where India would be compelled or India would come under the pressure of incorporating a foreign territory. If such situation arises, what should India do? Who has got the right? Who has got the authority? What if someone questions it? Under what procedure can India incorporate such union territories or such foreign regions? So in the year 1947 itself, the constitution makers thought about this. They were very sure that such situations are imminent. So as a result, they included Article 2 of the Indian Constitution, and to justify the significance of this article, we should look at the history of which state? Sikkim. Dear friends, most of us here, including me and you, so far we thought that Sikkim has always been a part of India. Sikkim since independence has been an integral part of India, but this was not the case till the year 1973-1974. Why? Because when India gained independence in the year 1947, Sikkim was a separate nation. It was an independent nation. But what happened? After 1959, when Tibet, the so-called independent, or in fact it was an independent nation. So when Tibet was annexed illegally by the China, threats started falling upon Sikkim. So Sikkim, since it is a very small state or country, it had no proper military requirements or arrangements. So what should it do? It definitely came to India. India kept on giving the required moral support to Sikkim. Year by year, it went on supporting Sikkim in maintaining its independence, because India is such a nation. We always play by our cultural values. But even then, China wanted to illegally occupy even Sikkim, just like it occupied which country? Tibet. So when in 1974 Sikkim became confident that henceforth it will be difficult for me to independently handle Chinese threat, it came to India, said, Sirji, we want your protection. But India, like I said, it will always play by the rules. It has a rich cultural history. It has never intentionally or without any provocation attacked one single country in the entire history. So what India said, we'll do one thing. Before joining, you be a part of India temporarily for 1 year or 2 years. If you're comfortable, if your citizens, if they are comfortable with staying in India or being attached to India, we can make it a permanent thing. But before that, just stay with us for 1 year. So by saying that, 34th Constitutional Amendment Act was introduced. 34th Constitutional Amendment Act was introduced, and it made Sikkim a protectorate state under the Indian Constitution. Can you see? So when India had an evident opportunity to acquire Sikkim, or at least incorporate Sikkim, it immediately did not misuse that opportunity. Instead, the brave India, what it did, it gave Sikkim an opportunity to test itself by being with us for 1 year. So accordingly, 34th Constitutional Amendment Act was introduced, and Sikkim became a protectorate state under India's protection. So now China would not do anything, because even India was equally powerful, right? So previously China too had experienced the wrath of India, so China decided to stay away. And when Sikkimis were sure of India's protection and sure of staying back with India, they decided to be a permanent part of the India. So as per this, Indian government or Indian Parliament enacted 35th Constitutional Amendment Act. So realizing this, the Indian Parliament enacted 35th Constitutional Amendment Act, as per which Sikkim became the 22nd full-fledged state of India? What happened? According to 35th Constitutional Amendment Act, Sikkim became the 22nd full-fledged state of India. Right? So this all happened, and even the parliament was able to incorporate Sikkim as a full-fledged state. What made this thing possible? Just imagine if there were no rules with respect to occupation of foreign territories or with respect to incorporation of foreign territories. If that was the case when Sikkim approached India in 1974, the situation would have been completely different. Right? Our parliamentarians would have completely gone mad, and they would have definitely got confused. So such was the far-sightedness of our constitutional makers, and that is the reason they included Article 2 of the Indian Constitution, which makes way for the Parliament to incorporate foreign territories into the territory of India. Got the point? This is how you should justify or you should apply whatever you are learning with the help of examples. Because almost all or each and every article of the Indian Constitution has been applied at least once. This is nothing but an application oriented subject, right? So we got to know about Article 1, that is India, that is Bharat shall be a union of states, and the territory of India shall consist of states, UTs as well as territories incorporated from foreign nations or foreign territories. And Article 2 says that India or Parliament by law incorporate a foreign territory into the territory of India. So these are Article 1 and 2. What about Article 3 of the Indian Constitution? Dear friends, Article 3 provides power to whom? Parliament of India. What kind of powers? This is important. This had been a direct question in the year 2016 in UPSC Civil Services Preliminary Examination. Article 3 deals with the power of who? Is it Parliament? Is it the President? Or is it the central government? This was the direct question. So Article 3 deals with the power of Parliament of India, and the Parliament consists of President, Upper House and Lower House, which means the President of India, Rajya Sabha and Lok Sabha. These three together constitute the Parliament of India, and Article 3 talks about the powers of this Parliament of India with respect to what? With respect to four powers. That is creation of new states. Article 3 talks about the powers of Parliament of India with respect to creation of new states. This creation can be by clubbing the existing states or breaking away the existing states, or incorporating a foreign territory and converting it into a new state. So overall, the Parliament can create new states, or it can increase the size or area of any state, or it can even decrease the size or area of any state, or even it can rename any state. So this is being talked about where? In Article 3 of the Indian Constitution, my dear friends. I'll repeat. Article 3 of the Indian Constitution empowers Parliament. What it says? By law, the Parliament of India can create new states, can increase the area of any state, can decrease the area of any state, or it can even rename any state. Have these been used anywhere? Yes. This every single article has been used. For example, creation, with respect to creation, as recent as in the year 2014, Telangana was created. Telangana was created out of Andhra Pradesh, right? So till 2014, Telangana as a separate state was not in existence. In the year 2014, the government of India amended constitution and broke away Telangana from the Andhra Pradesh. So this is as per which article? Article 3 of the Indian Constitution. And under Indian Constitution, the power has been given to whom? The Parliament of India. Right. So similarly, the Parliament of India can also increase the size of any state. Right. Also, it can decrease the size of any state. For this, Article 3 or subclause 3, the best example would be the case of PEPSU. PEPSU. What is it? See, till 1966, pay attention, till the year 1966, there were no separate states such as Punjab, Chandigarh or Himachal Pradesh. Union known as PEPSU existed in its entirety. It was called as Punjab and East Patiala State Union. PEPSU stands for Punjab and East Patiala State Union. So, in the year 1966, for the sake of administrative convenience, this PEPSU region was divided into 4. One is where there were hill ranges, it was called as Himachal Pradesh. Where people spoke Hindi, it was called as Haryana. And where people spoke Punjabi, it was called as Punjabi or Punjab. And the small left out region was called as Chandigarh. Chandigarh, which was made a common capital of both Haryana as well as Punjab. So, PEPSU, which existed in its entirety till 1966, was divided into Himachal Pradesh, Haryana, Punjab and Chandigarh by whom? By Parliament of India, under Article 3, Clause 3 of the Indian Constitution. Right? At the same time, if there has to be a change in name of any state. For example, till 1973, our Karnataka was called as Mysore State. Till 1973, it was called as Mysore State. From 1973, it is being called as the Karnataka State. So, what made or who changed the name of Mysore State as Karnataka? It is obviously, of course, the Parliament of India. Right? So, in the year 1973, the name of the name of Mysore State was changed as Karnataka. To be precise, it was on 3rd of November 1973 when the Chief Minister of Karnataka was Sri Devaraj Aras. He was in Gadag for some event. There he got to know that the name has been officially changed. The name of Karnataka, which was called as Mysuru State till 1973, has now officially been changed because the Parliament of India passed bill in this regard. You got the point? So, Article 3 of the Indian Constitution empowers whom? The Parliament. It's not President, it's not government, it's not central government, nor it is state governments. It is only Parliament and only Parliament which is empowered to create new states, to increase the area of any state or to decrease the area of any state or even rename any state in the entire territory of India. Apart from Parliament, no one else can ever make changes with respect to these subclauses. Right? Also, Article 3 of the Indian Constitution says if anything here, increasing area, decreasing area or renaming of any state, if it is concerned with any state, President for name's sake send a letter to those concerned states, send an intimation or send a concerned letter to the respective states. But however, the reply or opinion of these states will not affect the will of Parliament of India. For example, if in the year 1973, if at all Karnataka had opposed to the change of name, and even despite that, despite this opposition, if Parliament wanted to, badly wanted to change the name of our state into Karnataka, it would still have gone ahead with that. because Constitution of India under Article 3 has given exclusive power to Parliament of India. It can completely sideline the concern or recommendation of any state, or for that matter, even it can ignore the recommendation of President of India. Right? So this has been defined where? In Article 3 of the Indian Constitution. So part 1 of the Indian Constitution, it talks about the union and its territory. Article 1 says India, that is Bharat, shall be a union of states, and the territory of India shall consist of states, union territories and foreign territories acquired by India. Article 2 empowers Parliament to incorporate a foreign territory into the territory of India. Article 3 empowers the Parliament of India to create new states, to increase or decrease the area of any state, or even rename the name of any state. So this is the exclusive power of the Parliament of India. I hope you are thorough with all these 3 articles. Then comes Article 4 of the Indian Constitution. Article 4 says any changes or any law introduced as per Article 2 or Article 3 of the Indian Constitution. Any law or any change brought in as per Article 2 or Article 3 of the Indian Constitution shall not be deemed to be a constitutional amendment as per Article 368 of the Indian Constitution. Pay special attention. Article 4 says, if the Parliament of India incorporated any foreign territory, or it increased the size of any state, or it decreased the size of any state, or even it renamed any state, that does not constitute amendment as per Article 368 of the Indian Constitution. Because as per Article 368 of the Indian Constitution, the Constitution of India can be amended in 3 ways. First is simple majority, second is special majority, third is special majority with ratification by more than 50% of states in India. So if at all any article in the Indian Constitution is amended, it requires to be amended under any one of these 3 procedures mentioned under Article 368 of the Indian Constitution, but exception for part 1 is provided from this particular article, that is, which defines the procedure for amendment to the Constitution of India. Article 368 talks about the procedure to amend the Indian Constitution, and it has got 3 prescribed ways. One is a simple majority, the other one is special majority, third one is special majority with ratification by more than 50% of the states. However, exception under this article or with respect to this procedure has been provided to which article or which part? Part 1 of the Indian Constitution, that is from Article 1 to 4. So, if Parliament makes any changes to the Constitution of India under Article 2 or under Article 3 or even Article 1, that shall not be deemed to be a constitutional amendment as per Article 368 of the Indian Constitution, which means it does not require prior recommendation of the President of India. Getting this point? So this exception, where has it been given? It has been given in the Constitution itself under Article 4 of the Indian Constitution. So these are part 1 of the Indian Constitution, Article 1, 2, 3, 4. I hope this is clear. Right. So this is with respect to the creation of new states or maintenance of new states. So now you are confident. If someone comes up to you and asks, how dare you say that Karnataka exists from there and here, you just call him, get him and show him Article 1 of the Indian Constitution, because the Constitution itself decides or defines the territorial extent of any state. So when the Constitution came into force on 26th January 1950, dear friends, please remember, when the Constitution of India was adopted, when we say the Constitution of India was adopted, it was November, So the adoption date is different and the Constitution when it came into force, that is different. 26th November 1949 was the date when Indian Constitution was adopted and given to ourselves. But when did it come into force? It was on 26th Jan 1950. So there is a difference. When the Constitution of India was adopted, immediately provisions related to election and provisional parliament and elections, provisional parliament and provisions related to citizenship, which is part 2 of the Indian Constitution, came into force, and the entire Constitution itself came into force on 26th January 1950. Right? So when this Constitution of India came into force, we had, like I previously said, 552 states. See, I am taking up this topic because it's all about reorganization of states or making India as it looks today. It was pretty much very difficult task back then for both Jawaharlal Nehru as well as Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel, because the entire country was divided by British into 552 small pieces. It was an Herculean task before the Prime Minister of India or Home Minister to combine all these regions. Right? So when Britishers left India as per the Mountbatten Plan or June 3rd Plan, these regions were free to join either India or Pakistan or remain independent. Fine. Nearly 549 states, without any hesitation, they went with India. So immediately after independence, Nehruji and Sardarji wrote letters to all these regions. They said, come with us, we'll protect you, we together can be one powerful nation. So 549 states immediately agreed and they joined India as various regions. But few regions like Kashmir, Junagadh and Hyderabad, the case was not same. So what happened? We had 3 regions: Kashmir, Junagadh and Hyderabad. Each has got its own story. First of all, Kashmir. Kashmir was ruled by Hindu king named Raja Hari Singh. So he was a Hindu ruler ruling the Muslim majority state. Kashmir was majority, in majority many Muslims were living in Kashmir, but the king was Raja Hari Singh. He was very loyal. He was 100% Hindu leader. He called himself a Hindu leader or Hindu king, but his commander in chief was Sheikh Abdullah. He was in favor of joining Pakistan, but Raja Hari Singh was neither in favor of joining India nor in favor of joining Pakistan. He wanted to remain independent. Right? So what Raja Hari Singh did, he tried to remain independent, but about Pakistan, immediately after independence, with the help of Sheikh Abdullah, it got its army and marched towards Kashmir. By the time this Kashmir issue reached the United Nations, Pakistan had already occupied much of Kashmir. So today it is called as Pak occupied Kashmir. And then, looking at the imminent threat, Raja Hari Singh approached Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel, and Sardar Patel sent his army or army, and they were able to stop further accession of Pakistan into Kashmir. By the time this matter had reached United Nations, it said, maintain status quo. Wherever you are, stand there. No more further annexation. So accordingly, Kashmir joined India through instrument of accession. And as a result, Article 370 came into force, which provided for special and temporary provisions. And Raja of Junagadh, unlike Kashmir where the ruler was Hindu and citizens were Muslims, here the ruler was Muslim and majority of the citizens were Hindus. Junagadh king wanted to join Pakistan, but Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel threatened, and after Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel threatened, this Junagadh Muslim king, without any hint, without telling anyone, he flew to Pakistan. So thus Kashmir joined India through military action, and Junagadh too joined India, in the year 1947. After king gave it away, king of Junagadh gave it away. Then we have a special case with respect to Hyderabad. See, Hyderabad is often called as the heart of southern India. Hyderabad is often called as the heart of southern India. But despite that, despite being a landlocked region, Nizam of Hyderabad wanted to join Pakistan. That would be an impossible task. Just imagine a country within the boundary of some other country. Imagine Pakistan having its territory within India, which is surrounded by India, surrounded by Karnataka, Tamil Nadu, Maharashtra, Kerala, Andhra. So would it be possible? Would it be good? Definitely no, right? So what Sardar did, he tried to threaten Nizam of Hyderabad because he had no other option. Nehruji and Sardarji had no other option. So they called Nizam and said, we would be sending our military force. So Nizam got scared. He immediately dialed the United Nations, because the United Nations was already established in the year 1945 as per the charter. Charter is nothing but it's like a constitution of United Nations. Like we call Constitution in India for Constitution of India as our fundamental book. Like that, Charter of United Nations is considered to be the fundamental book of United Nations. So Nizam called United Nations. He said, Sirji, Sardarji and Nehruji are coming and threatening us. See, as per Britishers or 3rd June plan, we are free to choose, free to join any country, India or Pakistan, or remain even independent. But Sardarji is threatening us. He is saying that he would use military. So immediately what United Nations did, they called Sardarji and said, Sardarji, you cannot forcefully use military to occupy Hyderabad. Sardarji said, okay, no issues, we shall not be using military. So by saying that, what Sardarji did, he started Operation Polo. He sent the police force of the entire country to Hyderabad, from east, west, north, south, southeast, northeast, from everywhere, from across the country, he sent the police force to Hyderabad. Right? So after this police action under the nickname Operation Polo, Hyderabad was annexed by India. Nizam did not keep quiet. He once again, when the police entered Hyderabad, he called United Nations. But the United Nations said, see, as per our agreement, we had told Sardarji to not use military. Right? As per our agreement, we had informed Sardarji and Nehruji to not to use military force. Here, what they are using? They have used police force. Did they use military? No, right? They used police force. So, Sardarji is man of his words. So, he kept by his words. He did not use military force, but he used police force. By using police force, the Hyderabad was freed from Nizam of Hyderabad. Right? So, this is how India as it existed in 1947 was eventually changed to India as it exists now. That is in the year 2023 with 28 states and 8 union territories. So this is all about part 1 of the Indian Constitution, which talks about the union and its territory under 4 articles, Article 1, 2, 3 and 4. Alright, I hope this is clear. If you got any doubts, please Do keep this in mind and post your doubts in the comment section below. I shall address all the doubts. Right? Thank you so much. Take care. Have a great day.